Hi everyone, this is Crystal and I am an Entropia Noob. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some things you may or may not have known about shrapnel. Okay, as you can see here, we'll pull up the item info. It tells you here that this rate converts from 100 to 101. Now you might be asking, well, how does this conversion rate work? Well, for every 100 that you convert, you get an extra 1 universal ammo. So, the big thing with this is now that what they don't tell you is that when you convert 99, you're not getting any extra. So, before you convert your shrapnel, what I would do is I'd split the stack. Like here, let's say we have 8,854, right? So, we're going to go ahead and convert that to as close as possible. So, 8,800. We want to get as many even multiples as possible. We split the stack first. Okay, and then you can go ahead and convert that to ammo. The next thing I want to talk about is don't sell your shrapnel. You get the full 1% when you go ahead and you split it and you convert it properly. If you sell it back to the trade terminal, you're losing 1% every time you do. Okay? If you sell it to somebody else, you're still not getting that full 1%. Okay? So the other thing too is the same thing goes for ammo. When you are selling back ammo, let's say you bought too much ammo, right? If I were to sell, let's say, this ammo back right here, okay? I have 14,440 ammo, right? So if I sell this all back, I'm only going to get the PED for 14,400 of it. What happens to that extra 40 ammo? Well, I'm pretty much giving it back to Entropia for free. So I don't feel like wasting my money and giving them free money. So yeah, just don't do that. So I also wanted to talk about one of the things you should do when you're new is you go ahead and you need to get a mentor, okay? And I can't stress this enough. Whether you get the worst mentor in Entropia or the best mentor, it's all, it's all gravy because the mentor only has to do the hunt. Everything after the hunt you can do by yourself. And for those of you that don't know where to find it, okay, you go here, you right click on your screen, you go to system, and then you go to the mentor register, okay? Here, you can sort by who's online and look through the ratings, see how many people have graduated, and send them a message. Ask for a mentor, okay? If you find one that you get along with that, lines up with your goals, great, but you're in this for what you get at the end, okay? So, now on to that. What happens at the end of the mentorship? Well, as you can see, I am still working on my mentorship, okay? And I am 18.85% through it. Now, this skill progress right here, this is based on your skills in anatomy, geology, and engineering, okay? You get anatomy skills from things like hunting, geology is obviously from your mining, and engineering comes from manufacturing. And it doesn't matter which of these three you do, as long as you are gaining skills in one of these three, it will count. So this one here is your team hunt with your mentor. That's the one that they have to do with you. After that, if they fell off the face of the earth, you can still keep going and get what you need. Because there's always people to answer questions. You don't have to rely on your mentor. It's great if you can, but if you can't, well, it's not the end of the world. You have to go ahead and do at least one attempted mining for this. And the same goes for construction. There are several low-level blueprints that you can get from the engineer. You go ahead and you give it a shot, and odds are you're probably not going to make it on the first shot with the manufacturing. A lot of times, until you get your skill up, manufacturing is one of those things you are going to fail repeatedly. And I know, because I have burned plenty of PED trying to manufacture stuff. So, at the end of your mentorship, you get the armor. I believe it's the adjusted pixie set. I will be happy to show that to you guys once I finally finish. But like I said, I'm still working on it too. And for those of you that don't know, I've been playing Entropia now for about 2 months. So I'm still pretty new, and I've learned a lot of things, like I said. Um, so everybody wants to know, what's the ways to make a pet in this game? Well, if you can learn the market and do all of that, the best thing you can do to make money is probably trading. You go ahead, you find a high markup item that sells a lot, you buy it, and you can resell it, if you buy it low. The easiest one for when you first start out, and I must admit this is boring can be, is sweating. You go into your inventory. They give you this wonderful little tool here, the VSE Mark 1. You right click, you equip this, or you add it into your overview like I have here. You point it at the mob and you pretty much hit, the action button. And if you map this toggle auto use tool to your screen, it makes that so much easier. And you go and you just sweat the damn thing until it runs out of sweat. But so sweating is pretty easy. I'll go through that in a later episode as to how exactly to sweat for those of you who are interested in doing that. Another thing you can do is you can walk for fruit, stones, and dung. Now, this is even just as boring, but at least you get to see the scenery. If you're traveling from one place to another, you're trying to pick up a new teleporter, hit that walk button. You take your time instead of taking the car. You walk down the road and you might see some pop up randomly. I'll cover that as well in a later episode. Now, there's other things here in the game that the main three professions, hunting, mining, and crafting, most of the time they're all gambles. Sometimes you win big, sometimes you lose. So they are not guaranteed. Okay, the better your skills, the better your odds are of being one of the winners, but you can still lose your ass off. Um, so hunting is pretty self-explanatory. You get the right gun, you go out and you shoot things. Now, one thing to consider with guns and everything else is, are you maxed with the gun? Because if you're not maxed, you're not going to get the best that you can get. Now, for those of you who don't know, you have this little arrow up here that says progress. If you click that, it'll show you the progress of the current item that you have equipped. Over here, it shows you the progress towards the profession based on the skills that you're earning. And up here, it shows you progress on individual skills. So let's take, for example, this Solemate Onyxio. This weapon here, I have fully, skilled up. I'm getting the best I can get. And you can see that too, because look, when we go into item info, some of the things when you're buying weapons that you want to look for here, okay, is this attacks per minute, and the maximum 44 out of 44. I'm getting, the 2 damage. Here, 39.6 out of 39.6, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. You want to see these things all maxed up. So the number, here, they should match with the other number. That shows you that you're getting the best you can possibly get out of this weapon, okay? Now, what does it look like when you're not maxed with a weapon? Let's take this one, for example. As you can see here, my progress is not 100 on this one. I'm at 35%. So on this one, if I so choose to use it, I'm not going to be getting the best I can get. Now you see here, the attacks per minute is not maxed. Going through here, you look and see the damage interval. I'm not getting the best potential I can get with this weapon. So while this is a better gun than the other one, I'm not getting the best. But it still costs me the same amount to shoot this gun, regardless of whether my skills are maxed or not maxed. So it's in your best interest to use a gun that you are maxed up with. My point of view, and this is me personally, if I'm not maxed on this skill right here, if this does not say 100, I assume I'm losing money, okay? And sometimes just to gain skills, you've got what you got, you don't want to buy another weapon or whatever. Alright, fine. So we go ahead, but at least then you know you're losing money probably while you're working on gaining these skills. Okay? So the next thing, if you decide to go the trading route, and even if you're hunting, you want to look at an item's markup. Like, for example, this item sells for 142.21% over the trade terminal value. And I'll show you the trade terminal value as well. Okay, see right here, it normally goes up to 7 PED based on the condition of the weapon. So you could expect to pay 142% of the 7 PED. When you see these items, when you're hunting, when you loot something that has a good markup, don't sell it to the trade terminal. Hold on to it for as long as you can. Try to sell it in the trade channel. Try to sell it, in local chat. Try to get as close to this markup as you can for your money. Get anything over the trade terminal value and you'll be ahead of the game. Now, the next thing too is the difference between limited and unlimited items. And all of you veterans out there, I'm sure you know this, but this is more for the noobs, just like me. A limited item, when it breaks, it's broken. You can't repair it at all. Alright, unlimited items can be fixed and reused over and over and over again. You'll know the limited items by the little L that shows up in the little corners over here. Like, these are all limited items here. This one's unlimited. Now, when it comes to armor, don't wear armor unless you have to, okay? One thing you'll notice about armor is that the unlimited armors have to be repaired to provide the full protection, okay? Now look at this one, for example. Alright, it is by no means fully repaired. You see the difference in the protection that it provides. You can see it's not giving me the full protection. Now here on this set of armor, as I'll show you, no matter what its condition until it runs to 0, it will give me that full protection. So you have two choices when it comes to armor. You can go with an unlimited armor and you can keep it in top repair all the time. Or you can go with a limited armor that you will get the full protection until it wears out and then you'll have to go ahead and replace it. And again, don't use armor if you don't have to. It's just you're going to be paying for decay on something. And everything you spend money on is money you're not making. So try to keep that in mind. Okay? And lastly, the one thing I want to talk about too is deeds. Deeds give you a residual income. Now, I saved up, I went ahead and I made a small deposit for my first time in, and I went and I bought one of these Arcadia Underground deeds. They don't pay much at all, but guess what? I can sell it back when I'm done, and all the time that I hold on to it, I am earning money. Let me show you here. In my Ped Flow Center, right now I have 12 PEC here because I have been withdrawing it. But you can see on average this Arcadia Underground deed pays out between 1 and 2 PEC a day. And you can see here where I made different withdrawals. I pulled it out. So deeds are definitely worth getting your hands on. If you can buy a deed, get it. That will help. You build up enough of them, and before you know it, you'll have enough PED coming in that'll cover, your hunting losses and things like that. It'll give you some money to start trading with, and going through basically like that. So, anyway, well, that's pretty much the big things that I wanted to cover today. Like I said, remember with your shrapnel, only convert it in batches of 100 or you're throwing away free ammo. So if anything in this video helped you out, try to give me a like over here and the button. And like I said, this is my first video, and I hope you all have found something entertaining or at least, worth helping you out in this. And I'd like to hear what you'd like to see videos on. So go ahead and give me some comments down below what I can do better, what you want to see. And this is Crystal. I am the Entropia Noob, signing out.